I would make sure the stances are completely solidified and then go into receiving. And almost every practice, I would do some form of receiving. If you guys throw bullpens with your kids or do whatever, make sure those catchers are catching it. You guys aren't catching it. It's a great time for them to work on receiving and not just in a nobody on stance because they'll get lazy in bullpens. Making sure that they are working on run-around, two-strike approaches. You know, obviously if they can get into blocking. But at the top, we talked about prioritizing those fundamental importance. They gotta know how to receive. And they gotta be comfortable in those stances receiving. They have to be, because from there it's gonna stem into blocking, it's gonna stem into throwing. And especially in the throwing portion of it, it's important that they are comfortable in those stances and in those receiving positions. Any questions on receiving? Okay. A couple drills you can do are bare hand. You can go bare hand receiving, move the ball around, move the hand around, and you can move it back and you can throw it in. Move it back a little bit more, throw it harder, and then you can go into the bounce. I like the bare hand receive. It teaches them to be soft, and they don't need to catch everyone. I know their hands are they're small. They don't need to catch it. You just need to make sure that their form is good. They're not moving that body all over the place, and they're getting to that baseball. Another one is a hit and hold where you'll throw a baseball and you don't want them to catch it. You just want it to hit the glove, and if they got there in time, the ball will hit the glove and drop. If they get there late, the ball will hit and ramp right off their glove. You want them to beat the ball to the spot and then hit and hold it, and it'll drop right out. It'll drop right out. Just making sure that they're moving that glove properly. If they're moving the body, they'll probably get there late. If they're extending too far out, it'll hit and it'll take the glove away. It really solidifies having a good solid arm and then beating that ball in the spot. The biggest thing with receiving, and when it comes to receiving, and I know I'm talking a lot about receiving because it is extremely important, putting them in the best position to catch the baseball. Are we expecting them to catch every single baseball every game? Yes, we are. We absolutely are. That's what we are expecting. Does it happen? No. It does not. It does not happen. But if that expectation is we need to catch every single baseball this inning, that's the expectation. Now, is it a failure if you don't? No. But I want you to really strive for that. That's where we're setting your expectation. Now, if you do that every inning, or if you do that just for that inning, hey, praise that kid. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if he misses one or two, you don't need to get on him. Right? But hey, let's get after it next inning. Let's get after it. Keep getting after it. Keep getting after it. Happens at every level. Any game you go to, I guarantee the catcher will miss a baseball. Now, what do coaches say? Catch a ball. Catch a ball. Right? Catch a baseball. Okay, well, first of all, do they know how to catch a baseball? Have they learned how to catch a baseball? And second of all, they're trying to catch a baseball. You know, they're not trying to catch a baseball. So, me as a coach, I try to limit how many times I yell at a catcher because you can probably yell at them on almost every pitch. So we try to stay positive, especially when it comes to receiving, because they will drop balls. They will miss them. They will get tired. Their legs will get tired. Focus will go all over the place. But the majority of the time is because he calls a fastball, and that pitcher calls a fastball here and he's throwing it over here. Calls a curveball and he's throwing it all the way over here. It's difficult. It is difficult. So stay with it, but stay on it. Definitely stay on it. We're a lot like umpires, where if you do an unbelievable job, nobody really says anything. But as soon as you mess up, or something happens, then it gets negative right away. Try to stay positive. Definitely. Any questions on the receiving? Okay. Perfect. Jumping into blocking. Oh, I haven't squatted that long.
I was sitting there waiting to see if you just stand up. I couldn't have done that for 15 seconds.
Yeah. Jumping into blocking. When it comes to blocking, the form of blocking is, I think, the easiest out of anything that we do catching-wise. It's just the mentality of getting hit with a baseball at that age that really, makes kids flinch. And teaching the fundamentals of it are extremely easy, and they understand it, but it's the actually seeing the baseball coming ready to hit you. That's what they completely get out of their form with. So focusing on, obviously, teaching them the proper fundamentals on blocking, but then stressing, once you get into that fundamental, once you get into that form, you do not move. You do not move. You continue to stress that. Keep it simple. You stress. Not moving once you're in the form. Do not move. Do not move. Do not move. Do not flinch. Do not move. Get in the form and go. Now, when we're blocking, we're usually in, I would like catchers to block if you're not in, if you have nobody on less than 2 strikes, then you got to protect the umpire. But for sure, 2 strikes, runner on base, we're up in a 2-strike runner on approach or stance. So we're a little wider, feet are out, butt's back, chest is up. We're right here. One of the reasons why we have that right arm up is so that it'll be quicker to throw, but it'll also be quicker to block. If it's back here, it takes a while. From here, it just drops.
You show that again, maybe, so in lights.
Oh.
Block, when you come down to block from that runner on.
With the hand?
So when what you look like is coming down to the block, I want to take a picture.
Oh, yes. So you start with runner on 2-strike approach, right here.
And then blocking.
And then from here, the first thing that they want to feel is their glove turn over, their right hand come open, and go behind as they're falling onto their knees. We're not hitting our knees hard. We're not kicking our feet out. We're falling softly forward onto our knees, as opposed to kicking out or hammering down extremely hard. We never want force on force. As those knees are dropping, that glove is turned over, palm opens up, gets in that 5-hole, and we stick that glove down into the ground like a pitchfork. You have a pitchfork on the top of your glove, stick that sucker right into that ground. Elbows are pinched back. If we're too far here, we're going to get hit on the wrist, and that does not feel good at all. We want to be able to be in a protective position, especially when we're blocking, knowing that that ball is going to hit us. We still have to be very, very cautious and protective of our body. So we stick that glove back into the ground. Elbows are pinched back. We've hit those knees softly, and we allow that ball to come up and hit us in the chest. Now, with our head, we want to make sure that our head stays up. We see the baseball hit the ground, and as that ball's coming into us, we drop the head so we can protect our neck. But if we just jump down, and that head is straight down, we're not going to be able to see that ball, where it's going to hit or where it's going to go. Because we might be able to move our shoulder here. But if our head is completely down, then we're not going to be able to see that.
Okay, so real quick question on this is, are you going to get into the timing of when you drop down? That is the biggest problem that these boys have. It's like their reaction to a ball in the ground.
Right.
Is when it hits the ground next to their feet is when they might start going down.
Okay. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that. And that's a great question. The best answer to that is as early as you possibly can. Get down early. You can get down right when he releases it, and you know it's going to be in the dirt. So as soon as they recognize that that ball is going to be in the dirt, boom, they have to get down. Obviously, 0-2 you call a curveball. You're always expecting balls in the dirt with off speed. Always, always, always. If it's not in the dirt, then we receive. But you're expecting those balls to be in the dirt. And the expectation and the aggressiveness that you have to have is early timing. Early timing. A lot of that comes with pitch recognition, understanding pitchers, things like that. But if they know that the ball is going to be in the dirt, there's absolutely no reason they should be down late. But the timing of it is such, once they recognize that pitch is going to be in the dirt, then they have to get down. But you're completely correct. I mean, a lot so long. You have to constantly remind them, hey, you got to get in the ground. You got to get down there. You got to get down there early. There's not really a specific time when you do get down early.
I think maybe it comes to the drills, if there's any type of drills a coach we can do to help them identify when the ball is not going to be able to be caught.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, excellent question. So, any questions on the form? Get up. As the knees are coming down, glove turns over. Get in that 5-hole, heads up. And we look at that ball come into our chest. That's pretty easy. That's a pretty easy form for them to get into. When I was at UCLA, I came in as a third baseman. I was an all-state third baseman in Chicago, or in Illinois. And my freshman, sophomore year, I was a third baseman at UCLA, and then the scouts said, you know, he'll be able to play professionally if he's a catcher, a left-handed hitter. And I'm, 20 years old? Almost everyone on the staff knows 92, 94 miles per hour, and I have to learn how to be a catcher. You gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me, right? The hardest thing that I had to learn, though, was blocking, just because of that fear factor. So I went out and did a set of drills that, to this day, I'm implementing with kids 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. And this is the set that you can go through. Right off the bat, you put them in the blocking formation. You keep them here. Keep their head up, and you're maybe about 10 feet away. Just start throwing balls right in the dirt. They're not moving. The only thing that's moving is their head. Dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. They're not flinching. They're not moving. You're teaching them not to move once they're in that form.
Pitches at this age. It's not so much that they're throwing it low in the dirt, although those pitches, a lot of them went to the side. Yeah. And that's where it's kind of like ricocheting off the backstop. Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is, they're not really getting a throw to second or third. They're letting them throw it anyway because they're not like hurting with an error or letting them run extra bases if it goes beyond. Mm-hmm. But how do they transition to the sides, left and right?
Yeah, great question. It's important for them to first feel the ones right here. And once they get these down, then they're going to be able to slide left and right. The best way to feel left and right is, if I am going to go left, I work like it's a roof. So as I start to slide, my body will go down, as opposed to like kicking out. Some people talk about that. You're not going to have enough time. What you really want to feel is, as that pitch is coming in, the body is just shifting down the roof. Just still like you're getting in a position to block here, only now you're just falling. You're just falling over. And you're going to feel, if you go to the right, you're going to feel the left knee hit first, and then the right. And if you're going left, you're going to feel the right knee hit first, and then the left. But you're going to feel that body just work diagonally down.
I'm going to take a picture of that, if that's okay. So I don't care which side you go, pick a side where you can show the one knee coming down first.
Yeah. So if you're going to go over to the right, the head's going to work down. That left knee is going to hit first, and we're here.
All right. Can you get back just before there? Just make sure the one knee down first, and then hold it there if you can. Thanks.
Come. And then, yep, same thing over here. That'll go down first, and then you go.
So it's the same position of blocking, just how you get there. Exactly.
Exactly. You just want to feel that sucker go down with that first knee hitting, or this first knee hitting.
When you're going to the right side, which knee's hitting?
When you're going to the right side, your left is hitting first. Where are you going to the left
Inside.
side? Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Inside knee's hitting first.
But it's not the only one to hit. The other one they'll do, because they'll open up. The catchers in our level kids will they'll just open up.
They'll go here.
Yeah. And then goes off the back.
Yeah, the other one has to get down quickly. You can also talk about working into a funnel. You go into a half circle. You have to work around the half circle. But try not to get too fine with that, because then they'll turn their body all the way, and it'll go out the other side of the back's top. So I would just make sure that you work, if you want to work a tiny diagonal here, tiny diagonal up here. Good question, very good question. So from the position, from the position of getting down in the stance and just throwing balls, making sure their head is starting to be conditioned with seeing the ball hit, not moving, not flinching. Put their head all the way down so their neck is protected, and make them close their eyes. And then throw balls at them with their eyes closed. And you'll see that they will not flinch. They will not flinch at all. You make sure they understand the reason that they do flinch is because their eyes are telling them that they're going to get hit. Give them confidence that their form is proper. You're not going to get hurt. You are in a perfect position to block a baseball. The only thing that you needed that is inhibiting you from blocking in that form is you're seeing it ready to hit you and you want to flinch or get out of the way of it. Stay in that form. You're in perfect form. Go ahead and block that baseball. Then go into eyes open, their head up, looking it in, eyes closed, and down, looking it in. So they just start to get conditioned of getting hit with a baseball. You don't need to crush them, but you don't give a little juice on it. They're getting conditioned to get into that form, and you're conditioning their brain. It's okay. It's okay if I don't see it, if I see it, if I don't see it, if I see it. They're going to be just fine. From there, you get them up on their two-strike run approach. You say block. They go down the block, and then you throw it. So now they're getting used to getting up into a stance and going down into the block. From the stance, going into the block. From the stance, going into the block. So you say block, up it down, and then you can throw it, and then you can back it up and throw every single one in the dirt. And they're going to have to go ahead and block that properly. Do this as many times as you possibly can throughout the week. If you guys want your kids to block properly and efficiently and quickly, do that as many times as you possibly can.
So the crazy, but one more question about that. The wild pitch. Why? Do you just have them let it go, or lunge for it, or I didn't realize you're not dealing with little league. Maybe or play the carom off the back. I mean, at what point is it too far for us as coaches to expect them to try and stop the ball? Because you're really working in an area that's a lot smaller than I think a lot of the wild pitches come.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they should be able to block a ball there and there.
okay, cool.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of them way out here. Okay.
Oh, all the way out there?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, unless they're going to start diving.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, that's great.
You block the ball basically halfway through the batting box, maybe?
Yeah.
Good call, halfway through the box.
Halfway through the box.
Little kids like that.
Yeah. And I'm thinking if somebody's throwing it way out there, then we got to talk to the pitcher.
We're doing that too.
Not the catcher, yeah.
That was last. Right.
Good questions, though, guys. Excellent questions. Please keep flowing those, because I need to make sure that I'm answering your guys' questions as opposed to just...
Catchers gloves, some of these gloves are like hard as a rock, some are broken in. But if you got a kid that's going to be playing catcher and he says, I want to get a glove, where do you get a glove? How big? I mean, is it something you can grow into? Or, some of these ones you've seen out there, those are kind of where you're pre-broken in kind of things, but
Yeah, I would make sure that, well, it depends on what age they are.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah. I mean, their hands aren't going to be huge, but I don't think you need to get the top of the line Rawlings just yet. I'd maybe go with something that's already broken in, unless you guys are able to have time to go ahead and break the glove in.
Yeah.
Something that's, about halfway broken in, something they feel comfortable with, something that's not too heavy. The smaller the glove is, the better they're going to be at having to get to the baseball and receive it. And that's always a good thing. The smaller the glove, they're going to really have to get there. Now, are you going to have maybe a little more pass balls? Yes. But is it more developmental for these kids? Absolutely.
Smaller kid.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get a tiny one, right?
Yeah.
But, you don't need to get some huge, knuckleball or mitt.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
That fits them there.
like a lot of these are like hitting the glove, they're bouncing out, and I don't know if it's because they can't squeeze it, because it's not broken in quality, or, that's one of the things it is, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably not broken in enough, or the glove is too big, and when it gets too big, it gets too heavy as well, so they can't really squeeze it. If I had my preference with, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, I'd get a smaller glove that's lighter, and it's broken in, maybe some of those squishier gloves, so that they can really start to move the hand around and feel confident in catching it.